Welcome to the Stop Over Drinking and Start Living podcast, where high-achieving, goal-oriented rebel women come to learn how to live a vibrant and fulfilling life without requiring alcohol to get through it. No labels, no judgments, no saying you'll never drink again. Just real proven methods to help you stop rebelling against yourself with alcohol so you can drink less and do more. I'm your host, Angela Mascenik. Let's dig in. Welcome to episode 350, a live class called Sober October, How to Take a 30-Day Break and Actually Enjoy It. Well, hello. Welcome back to the podcast. Today's episode is a recording of the Sober October, How to Take a 30-Day Break and Actually Enjoy It class that I just taught live this week. And I hope you enjoy it. Please listen all the way to the end. I answer all your questions and also talk to you in more depth about the Sober October Challenge inside the Alive AF membership. And you don't want to miss because that enrollment closes on October 1st and you won't be able to join until the new year after 2026. All right, my friends, hope you enjoy. Welcome to the How to Do Sober October class. Take a 30-day break from alcohol and actually enjoy it. Who believes that they can take a 30-day break from alcohol and actually enjoy it right now? Just tell the truth. Just say yes or no. Oh, Coach Steph says me. Yes, I hope so. No, yes. Not sure. Yes. Hope so. Hopeful. No, we'll see. No, not sure. Nope, not sure. Did it before. Sounds like we're arranged, which is absolutely normal. After the first week, yes. You have to get through some discomfort in the beginning. Absolutely normal. Okay. Before we get in, I'd love to know why you're here. Tell me why you're interested in this class. Are you wanting to learn how to take a break that feels better for you? Do you feel like you need to take a break? Tell me a little bit more about why you're here and what you're hoping to gain from this class. So I make sure I touch on everything today. If you're 100% sure that you're ready to take a 30-day break, that's where you are, you're just curious about it, want to make alcohol irrelevant, I'm tired of losing evenings, ready to take a break, I need a break from drinking, lose weight and feel better, want to cut down on wines, I know that would have great benefits, need a break, over drinker, need to cut it out, tools and tricks would be useful, want to need a break, improve my energy, follow through in January when we all did it together and want that group support by begin, strategies to help with the day-to-day, hoping to help a family member who needs to stop drinking. Love it. Want to live my life without alcohol forever. I'm ready for something else healthier. Want to stop feeling like I need a drink to unwind. Yes. Need a break. Ready. Hoping for some weight loss. Not want to drink a bottle of wine every night. Yes. Brenda went 90 plus days AF, then had a couple. Seems to be a slippery slope. I don't drink to excess as much anymore, but feel like it's just part of my daily life. Need to reset. Controls me. I need to control it. Love it. Okay. Nice. All right. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. Well, I'm Angela and I'm super excited to be here. I'm a certified Stop Over Drinking coach for women. I created the Stop Over Drinking and Start Living podcast. That podcast has been up and running for over 7 years. There's almost 350 episodes. So definitely, if you haven't checked out that podcast, go look it up on iTunes. It's on my website. Just search Stop Over Drinking and Start Living podcast and whatever you search in, and it will come up. I've created multiple courses for women over the years to help them stop over drinking and start living. I'm also a certified forest therapy guide. I incorporate nature a lot into my programs and retreats. I also do sober retreats all over the place. Don't have one planned yet right now, but we did one in May in Palm Springs. I've done them here in North Carolina, Mexico, Seattle. They're one of my favorite things to do is bring people together live and in person and do this in real life. So I'm super happy to be here. Thank you all for being here. There's a lot going on in the world right now, and I really appreciate you guys showing up for yourselves mostly and wanting to be here with me in the middle of the day. I know everybody has busy schedules, and I just really appreciate it, and I hope you appreciate it for yourselves as well. So just a little bit about me, if you don't know already, I was married in a vineyard in Sonoma, California. Okay. Wine was a big part of my life, so much that we got married in a winery. Okay. We had the wine club memberships. I was in pharmaceutical sales for a long time. So I had entertained clients, traveled, went to big sales meetings. It just evolved from there. I had 3 kids back to back. And then I started using alcohol more as a tool to manage my life, to deal with my overwhelm, to deal with my anxiety. I felt like I was the only one doing all the things in the household, to stress, anger, anxiety, overwhelm, boredom, right? To celebrate, to unwind. I use alcohol for all the reasons. And that went on for about 20 years until I had a bigger life event where I actually quit my job, my corporate job, and was sort of left with like a lot of space and time to like figure out my shit. And in that space, I found life coaching, and life coaching changed my life. I learned why I was over drinking. I learned about myself and my feelings, and I learned how to have agency within myself. And I could dictate how I felt and what I thought and change my mind around things. And through that process, I gave up alcohol. And I've never looked back. It was so compelling to me because I struggled for so long with it. I knew that this is what I wanted to do. And so over 7 years ago, I created my business and have been coaching women to do this ever since. One of the other things I added this on the slide this time is I constantly blamed people for how I felt or how I would react. So it was always my boss's fault. It was always my husband's fault. It was always my kids' fault, my parents' fault, the in-laws. Like it was always somebody else doing something that made me feel this way. So I had not a lot of agency at that time or for all the way up until I was about 40 years old. I just was sort of at the effect of what other people said or did, and that would dictate how I felt and how I showed up in my life. Until I learned how to like rein that in and have agency over myself and decide what I wanted to think about things. I didn't know that. I didn't know that you could change your mind or change your thoughts about things. It was so empowering to learn that. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that today and the tools that I used for myself back then to change my relationship with alcohol. So right now I'm alcohol free. I mentioned that at the beginning of the class. It was never my goal to be alcohol free. I just wanted to cut back and regain control. And in the beginning of my journey, how I did that was I actually took a long break. I ended up going 90 days without alcohol from the very beginning. As soon as I joined a life coaching program, I let alcohol go for about 90 days. I didn't really have an end date in it, but it ended up being 90 days. And through that time period, I learned so much about myself. I learned how to have fun. I learned that I was actually a morning person. I understood all the reasons why I was drinking. I managed my urges. I reduced my desire for the alcohol. And then I actually went back to moderating for a little bit. But when I did that, I didn't need alcohol anymore. I had removed it from being a tool in my life. And then by that point, it just didn't do anything for me. So I actually decided to leave it behind and I have not turned back since. So part of this Sober October invitation to you is to consider taking a 30-day break to start, to see what you can do and to see what's there. Like, why are you numbing and escaping at the end of the day? How could you feel if you didn't have multiple days of drinking every week? Like it just keeps like your body heals, it gets better, your mind gets clear, so many benefits to it. But that's what I did at the beginning. And so I want to invite you to maybe consider doing that, especially if you've been trying to plan drinks or trying to do things on your own. It's not really working, like giving yourself a reset so that you can sleep better, have more clarity in your mind and your thoughts. When you're over drinking a lot, your mind gets foggy and it has anxious thoughts. It produces more anxious and overthinking thoughts. And so it's hard to dissect that when you're still in the process of drinking on a regular basis. So a break can really help you get clear on things, settle your mind a little bit, calm your nervous system down, feel less stressed so that you can sort through some of the reasons why you're drinking and make some changes. So now I travel the world. I'm way more silly and I have a lot more fun. I take bigger risks. I love this one. I seem to like to ride things, apparently. This is me on a carousel on a cruise that I just went on a couple weeks ago in Greece, completely sober, in a sports bra, walking around this cruise ship after a workout class. Like I would have never done these things before. So I want to demonstrate that living an alcohol-free life or really cutting back on your alcohol consumption can be so much more fun that you don't even realize it until you give yourself that opportunity. All right, so in today's class, we're going to go over a few core things. So the mindset shift that makes 30 days alcohol-free easier than you think it might be. I'm going to talk about how to handle cravings, social events, what will people say moments. I'm going to give you some simple swap outs and routines to keep your evenings fun and fulfilling, and why a short reset can lead to longer term clarity, confidence, and energy. Okay, so again, silence your phones, get your notebooks out, and get ready to take some notes. Cool? And we have Coach Steph, if you're just now joining, Coach Steph, who works for me and has been with me for about 5 years, who's also just a client like you, who probably attended one of my classes and listened to a podcast. She came inside and did the work herself. She's reduced her drinking by about 90%. She still keeps alcohol in her life, and she now works with me. And she says, hi, everyone. So she's going to be in the chat monitoring that, making sure you guys have what you need and making sure the questions get addressed. Okay, so just to preface this, I don't provide medical diagnosis or advice or alcohol or drug addiction support to get you off of things. If you're worried about, withdrawals or things like that, you got to go talk to your doctor before you take a 30-day break. So I'm a life coach. I can help you with your mindset, how to process your feelings, and give you tools, but it's definitely not a medical diagnosis or advice type situation. So I want you to stay through the whole thing because I'm going to tell you how you can come work with us every day for the month of October. All right, so welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I want you all to take a big deep breath. Okay, big deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And just notice how you're feeling right now. You're here in a class to learn about Sober October and how to make this easier for yourself. And I want you to set your mind right now to what this is supposed to be and what this is not. Okay. What this is you're giving yourself a gift. You're giving yourself a reset if you choose to accept this challenge and to feel what is possible for you. Okay. What this is not about you focusing on being perfect, counting days, or punishment for how you've been drinking in the past. We don't want to do that. That's not where our focus is. You want to think about, I'm receiving something here. I'm giving myself a gift. Okay. So everybody write that down at the top of your paper. I'm giving myself a gift. I got some new photos taken. And I think I like absolutely love them. They're so cheesy, some of them, and some of them are super awesome. But it was really fun for me to do this. So I'm revealing some of these photos to you in this class today. But this is one of me running in the woods, which I absolutely love. But anyway, I want to demonstrate to you what it can feel like after a reset, all right, visually as well. I want you to understand like why a reset works. So you're going to understand your triggers and yourself more, and you actually get to address the reasons why you're drinking instead of just focusing on not drinking. If you've done 30-day challenges or breaks before, like dry Januaries or dry July or sober October, if you're not doing it in a formal setting or you don't have guidance or whatever, you're just counting the days. A lot of times you're just like, okay, I'm just like getting through the days, right? You're kind of white knuckling your way through it. And then at the end of the month, you're like, oh, that was good. I feel better. I have more energy, blah, blah, blah. And then you might go back into your old ways. But this reset, hopefully with a deeper understanding of what's happening, and especially if you join us in the Alive AF Sober October Challenge, I want you to understand yourself more, feel connected to yourself more, and then address the reasons why you're drinking in the first place. Okay, this really is more than just about the alcohol. Plus, you'll have better sleep and energy, more clarity and confidence. You're going to build self-trust with yourself as you follow through the month. You're going to have that reduced anxiety and anxiety-like thinking. I mentioned that at the beginning. When you're over drinking all the time, it amplifies negative thoughts in your head. So, you know that when you wake up in the morning, right? And you have these negative thoughts about yourself, not only won't be there, so you can start your day on a better foot, but other issues in your life won't be so amplified. You won't be so quick to think negative things about things. You'll feel a little bit more settled, less stressed, and less anxiety. Okay. Sober October is a birthday present to myself. Yay. I love that. Hi, Wendy. Okay. So this is the mindset shift number 1. This is a gift, not a punishment. Okay. When approaching this, it's essential to examine how you think about it. Your mind is like a roadmap. Okay, that everything starts up here. So if you go into this thinking, I can't have alcohol this month, you're not going to feel great, right? It's going to make you feel like restricted or deprived or like you're missing out on something, right? So instead, we want to change that language intentionally. So you're going to have to think about this every day. Your default setting will be, I can't have it, or I'm not supposed to have it, or I'm not, like all of that, which feels tight and restrictive. Instead, you're going to have to manage your mind and think, I'm giving myself fill in the blank, more sleep, energy, or control this month. Okay. It's a gift. So it's a gift, not a punishment. That's mindset shift number one. So whatever you want to think about this, I want you to write that down now. So what are you giving yourself this month? Yes, Jamie, you're giving yourself less anxiety and more control. Love it. Better sleep, clarity and peace. I need 30 days of clarity and really focus on my health. Yes, better sleep, better fitness, less anxiety, more real time, calmness and self care, more consistent exercise habits, better relationships, renewed self trust. Yes, better health and fitness. Beautiful. Okay. Mindset shift number 2 is one day at a time. And I know it's annoying. Okay. I get it. But maybe this is my favorite way to think about it. Focus on the day that you are in. That's all you have to do is you have to focus on the day that you are in. We're in Monday, September 22nd. That's the only day you have to focus on staying alcohol free. Should you decide if you're going to do sober October. Okay. That's how it works. You're like, okay, today I have obstacles to overcome today. What are they? That's all I need to worry about. If you keep thinking about the whole month or the whole time period or the whole week or whatever it is, the whole vacation, it's a lot for our brain. All of those details. How am I going to do that? And how am I going to feel? And what are people going to think? And like it's too much. It gets overwhelming, right? And then we don't know how to deal with those feelings. And then we want to escape that. And then we just say, screw it, right? So focus on the day you're in, one day at a time. You just want to win today. That's the only thing. Can I get a win today? So how can I do that for myself, right? When you're taking on the challenge. Mindset shift number 3. This is an experiment. Okay. This is just an experiment. I call it collecting data, right? We're collecting data about why we're drinking. What feelings have we been escaping? What's going on in our lives that we find intolerable? What situations am I putting myself in that I'd normally drink just to get through? Right? This is an experiment to take inventory of your life and what you might be numbing from or escaping from or needing alcohol to get through, right? It's so important to not think of this forever. I still don't think about my relationship with alcohol not drinking as forever. I really don't think I'll drink again, but I don't know what the future holds, and I don't need to worry about that. I need to focus on the day that I'm in, and that's all I do. Right? Your brain can't 100% predict success, right? We think that we know what's going to happen in the future sometimes, but we really don't. A lot of us have been shocked about the future, right? We've been wrong about things in the future. So your brain can spin you around, right, baby, right round. You know that song? Right? So like it's an experiment. It's fun to observe our own humanness sometimes in certain situations. And yes, it's like a record, 100%. You're simply collecting data on how you feel. Have fun with it too. Right? Like I'm trying to like bring some levity and some jokes and things. Like I know sometimes it can feel very serious. Like this can be a very serious problem, especially if you've got relationships that have been affected or, things have happened in the past around your drinking that aren't great, right? And being hard on yourself and shaming yourself about that isn't going to help you move forward. So we got to try something different, right? Maybe being hard on yourself isn't going to work and shaming yourself isn't going to work because it hasn't worked yet. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. So bring some laughter about yourself in. Make fun of yourself and your humanness, right? We all make mistakes. We all have crazy ass thoughts in our head. Crazy, right? When you get aware of that and you can observe that, then it's like, okay, I'm watching my human self be in this experiment right now without drinking. What is that like? Right? Go into it with a little bit more lightness. So, moving toward out of the mindset stuff, it's going to be important for you to manage your mind every day of this month. So, that thought that what you wanted to give yourself this month, what you wrote at the top of your paper, you're going to want to read that every day. Okay. And then cravings are going to happen. They will. It's part of the process. You haven't done anything wrong if you have urges or cravings. Like you're not bad if you have cravings. Of course, you have cravings because your brain is used to drinking, right? And so is your body sometimes. So, just like our feelings, right? Who has a range of feelings throughout the day? Who can be happy one minute and like pissed off the next? Me. Yep. Yeah. Me. Right. This is normal, right? This is humanness. We all have a range of feelings throughout the day. Yeah. You can recognize that. And cravings are just other feelings that you get to experience, right? And the more that you can just accept that about it and you recognize when that's happening, you're like, oh, I recognize I'm having urges or a craving right now, and you're conscious of it. You want to allow that feeling to be present in your body versus fight it and white knuckle it. Okay. So when you recognize it's happening, you're like, oh, yeah, I'm a human. I'm having a craving. No big deal. Let me just breathe and process this. Stop, notice, and process. Perimenopause is winning. I cry at commercials. Yes, right? Yeah, add in menopause to this whole thing. Yeah. So open up when you find yourself in an urge or a craving, open up and try to connect with your breath and your body versus staying up in your mind. If you stay up in your mind with the chatter and you fight with yourself and you're trying to like convince yourself not to do it and why, and you're going back and forth, that's exhausting, as you know, and you're more likely to give in. So if you can just separate your thoughts and try to just focus on your breath and what's going on in your body. Where do you feel your cravings? What's going on with your breath? How's your jaw feel? Is your shoulders up to your ear? Can just work on relaxing with your breath and focusing on just being present in your body for a moment. And when you do that, that's processing your feeling. And if you don't give in to the craving, your desire for the alcohol is going to go down over time. So this is just what one of our clients has shared with us. Today was tough. I just opened a bottle of wine to pour an unplanned glass because I thought it doesn't matter. Has anyone ever thought that? I deserve this. And then I stopped myself, paused, and thought, nope, I deserve to honor my commitments. I recorked, poured water, and walked away. I don't think I've ever uncorked a bottle of wine and not poured or consumed a glass. Excited about this. So this is like real time what it sounds like and looks like, right? You might be in the process of like actually putting a glass to your lips and you can stop yourself. You have the agency to do this. Will it be hard sometimes? Yes. Will you have to be uncomfortable? 100%. But it just accepting that that's normal and like nothing has gone wrong makes it actually a lot easier for you to do. Yes, yoga, very good. Yoga. Think about what you do on your yoga mat, right? So you're connecting with your body. You're observing your thoughts in your mind, but you're not attaching to them. Same practices here. Connect with your breath, connect with your body. And when you do that, your body is actually able to direct you. When you learn and you practice that, your body can direct you in the right direction instead of relying on this old brain who's in a trigger to drink. You don't really want to engage with that too much because when you're having a craving or an urge, you can't really trust what's going on in your head, right? Because your brain wants that drug, right? It wants what it wants. So it's going to tell you all sorts of things. So it's better to just not even engage with it and instead trust your body. Your body knows what is right? So connect with your breath, connect with how you're feeling, get out of the situation. I love this woman here. So looking at social events and people, decide ahead of time, right? Even if you say, okay, I'm going to do sober October, or maybe you can practice this weekend. Okay, I'm not going to drink this weekend. Decide that ahead of time. Don't wait until you're driving to the event or to the dinner to decide what you're doing with alcohol. You want to make that decision 24 hours in advance, at least, right? Decide, write it down, make it real. Know what your alternative drink will be. Look ahead to the menu if you can, right? Decide what that drink will be. Like, I am going to have a Diet Coke. I am going to have a non alcoholic beer. I'm going to have a mocktail. I'm going to have coffee. Like, be specific. And then as far as the people are going on, just keep it real simple. I'm just taking a break this month. You don't have to get into it if you don't want to. I'm good with water for now, right? Another tip that I like to provide is like if they're real close friends and you know that they're heavy drinkers and like you don't need that kind of pressure, let them know ahead of time via text. Send them a text like, heads up, I'm not drinking tonight. Let them process that when you're not right in front of them in the moment when the waiter is there, you know? And for yourself, like you give yourself a little space so that they can have their own thoughts and feelings and they're not just like, bleh. You know, people say dumb things all the time in response to what we say, right? So they might say, "Oh, you don't need to do that." And what one won't hurt, whatever they might say. Most people are supportive. Sometimes there's outliers, right? So give yourself that opportunity to let them kind of process that before you get face to face with them. And I love what she's saying. I'm just really thirsty for some water right now and like chug a glass of water. Really, when we're talking about social events or people, I don't really want you guys spending any amount of time worrying about what other people might be thinking about your drinking. Okay. If you find yourself worried about what other people are thinking about your drinking, I want you to redirect and say, the most important thoughts are my own. What am I thinking about me not drinking tonight? That's the better question. What am I not thinking about me not drinking tonight? Right? Because that will reveal maybe some doubts or insecurities that you have. And we got to look at that. We got to get that out so we can work with it. Okay, so journal. If you're really worked up about a social event or something like that, dump out all of those thoughts in a journal so you can get that out of your head and be conscious of it and understand your anxiety or your feelings going into that situation. Okay, and then refocus on what you want to think. There's what we think when we're faced with a situation. That's just sort of like our automatic thoughts. But you can decide what you want to think and reframe that thinking into something that's going to work for you. Okay, like we did at the beginning. It's just like, okay, I'm worried that everybody's going to judge me. That might be a thought that you have, right? How can you reframe that to focus on your goals? I'm going to be proud of myself. I'm the biggest judge of me. Yes, absolutely. It's none of your business. Other people's thoughts are none of your business because it's just in their head, right? We don't need to be in other people's head. We need to focus on what's in our head. Okay, so fun swaps and new rituals. So I want you to think about what you're going to do at night. You know, like you got to create a strategy for yourself and set yourself up for success. So think about creating a new evening ritual. What is your current ritual? Are you just like come 5 o'clock, you're coming home from work, walking in the door, you go pour a glass of wine? Like, what is your current ritual at the end of the day? And how could that look differently for you? So I have like teas and mocktails in my house. If I'm really focused on something, I might put my tea station out on my counter and lay up my selection of teas and my honey and my special teacup and my tea kettle. You know, you might stock your refrigerator with a bunch of fun fizzy beverages, mocktail cans, non sparkling waters, kombuchas, you know, things like that that you can have on hand and reach for when you're in that evening routine. Another great thing to do is just get outside. If you have a nice neighborhood you can go walk in, there's a park nearby, moving your body, especially like after dinner, you know, that's really, really good for you to kind of process the day and like not be just kind of holed up in your house. Or maybe there's a yoga class you can take. You know, there's some other engagement for yourself that feels good for you that you can do in the evening. Another great idea is to like get a new journal and sit with your cup of tea or your mocktail and reflect on your day, write about your day and notice, okay, in the past, this is how I would have handled that. But tonight I'm sitting here and I'm connecting with myself and I'm reflecting on my day and noticing some changes. So this is a really cool thing. I mentioned this at the beginning of the class. It's called the outcome first framework. So make sure you guys screenshot this, write this down, pay attention. A lot of times you guys are making, especially around alcohol, you're making decisions based on how you think you're going to feel. And this is very unconscious. It's not like you're walking around thinking through this all the time. You're not thinking, oh, I'm going to drink because I don't want to feel bored. I mean, you might, but that's usually not what it is. Okay. So I want you guys to think about your outcome instead of your feelings, right? Step one is what is the decision here? Is it to take 30 days off of drinking? It could just be you've decided to take 30 days off of drinking and you've got an urge, right? And your brain is trying to make it, should I drink or should I not drink, right? It's prompting you to make another decision around it, even though you've already made the big decision. Instead of thinking about how you might feel deprived or uncomfortable, right? Which is another feeling that you might be having to sit with if you don't drink. You want to bring in, what's the outcome that I want? Try to remember that. What is the outcome that I'm wanting here? If the outcome is that you want to stay alcohol free, that's the direction you want to go. So it's outcomes first, not feelings first. Okay? The step 3 is, does this choice move me closer or further away? So by choosing not to drink, am I going to get closer to my goal? Or what's the other option? Is it going to move me further away? We can always say we can start again tomorrow. Of course, that pushes your outcome further away from you, right? If you choose your outcomes first, right, that's when you're choosing on purpose with your goal in mind and not from your fears or the negative feelings you might experience. So let's say a friend invites you to happy hour while you have committed to doing sober October. The old way that you might have dealt with this is you recognize it's probably not the right decision, but you go because you don't want to hide all month, or you don't want to say no because you don't want to feel guilty about it, right? And then you go and then you might end up drinking. The new way with this outcomes first way is you stop and think through the decision, like give yourself some time to stop and think it through. What is the outcome you want? That's the first question. Does it help you achieve that outcome? Or could it cause complications? And I want you to be honest with yourself here. This isn't about restriction or not being able to do things. Really be honest with yourself. Is this invitation that I am receiving by this person in this specific location, could this introduce complications? Like in review, have I tried to not drink in this situation in the past, and what does my results look like? Am I 100% confident that if I go, I won't drink? Right? So be honest with yourself in this sort of processing of this decision. And if the answer is yeah, it could cause further complications, and the outcome that you want is to stay alcohol free that day, you might choose then to not go and let yourself work through the feelings that that decision activates for you. Right? So you might have to sit there and feel like you're missing out. You might have to sit through some guilt because everybody else is doing it or you're expected to go, right? And that's okay. But when you can do that, you'll have integrity with yourself and you will have honored yourself first. And the goals that you have for yourself is the number one thing. Okay. Other people can have their feelings and thoughts about it as well. Okay. So here's another one. You feeling drained after work or at the end of the day. Okay. Old way. You think, I just need a glass of wine. I deserve it. Who has thought that before? Right? And you just don't even stop. You just walk right into the kitchen, you pour a glass of wine. There might be a soft whisper that says, well, you're supposed to be doing sober October, but you totally ignore it. Okay, that's the old way. Outcomes first way is you stop and you recognize this craving. You pause and you breathe and you name how you feel, right? I recognize I'm having a craving right now and I am driven to want to go drink. You might have to say this out loud. You might have to just, literally stop what you're doing. And then you realize that you're tired and you want to think through this decision based on the outcome that you want to have, and you move away from the kitchen. You go lay down, drink some ice water, and decompress naturally, right? So when you think about feeling drained after work, you're already tired, right? You're already exhausted. And so working through that, giving yourself that break to pause, your brain is looking for a quick hit, a quick fix on the feeling that you're having right now. You don't want to feel drained, and so you think unconsciously that alcohol is going to be the solution to make you feel better. Again, we're not walking around thinking this. This is just our sort of unconsciousness here. But if you can recognize that you're feeling that way, what else could you possibly need instead of alcohol? Because alcohol, as we know, depletes you even more. It might give you a little boost in the moment, but it steals your sleep, it steals your energy, it makes you feel bad about yourself, all of that, right? So it's not really a solution to feeling exhausted or drained. But what could be a solution to that? Who has any ideas? Who could be what solution do you think actually would be if you're feeling drained and exhausted at the end of the day? Yep, rest, bubble bath, workout, legs up the wall, read or take a bath, rest, stretch, yoga, take a walk. Exactly. Rest your eyes, take a quick walk, take a bath. Yeah, wash your face, change your clothes, eat something. A lot of times we haven't eaten for like 5 or 6 hours by this point, too. That's a huge trigger. Call someone, absolutely. Yeah, it's just you guys need to recognize that that's not a quick fix, right? It sometimes takes a while. It takes a little bit of a process. It takes getting outside for 30 minutes. It takes putting your legs up the wall. It takes some effort on your part to get relief from that exhaustion, right? Whereas alcohol, you're going to get something right away. So we have to recognize that and be patient. You might have to work through some urges still in that moment, right? And be okay with having to wait a little bit until you start feeling a little bit better. It's not going to be a quick fix. We got to let go of this kind of quick fix thing. Immediate satisfaction, right? That's part of the addiction thing. It's like we want what we want right now. It feels very urgent. If you can notice it feels very urgent to get a drink, that should be your red flag. Okay, that you're needing something else and you're just gonna have to be uncomfortable for a little bit until your body can reset a little. Okay, so I want to know what your common scenario is. So type in the common scenario, like what does the old way look like? Say stress from work, social event, and then tell me what the old way would look like for you. Feeling lonely. Yeah. So elaborate on that, Helen. You're feeling lonely, and then what? What's the old way? You notice you're feeling lonely, and then what happens? Oh, you get home in the afternoon when neighbors are there and want to drink. It's Friday. I want to unwind. Stress from work, family issues. Open the wine while cooking dinner. I no longer can turn it off. Stress, period, work, motherhood. Even when I'm bored, I got my son to bed and tell myself I need a drink. Old way, 5 p.m. reach for the IPA, made it through the day. Yay. Yeah. Notice my partner has a drink, so might as well. I want to get through the night. Stress after a day from work. Fed dogs, work out, enjoy the empty moment hits. Yeah. Interrupting the impulse is a tough part. Mine is we have people over, we are gathering. I wasn't planning on drinking. I'm offered and I say, yeah, okay. And then I don't want to stop. Mine is very social. Glass of wine or two or three due to early retirement, loss of hubby. Yep, I take my wine to bed watching CNN because it's bedtime. That doesn't sound like a good idea. Does that feel relaxing to go watch CNN right before you go to bed? This is part of like reviewing what we're doing, right? Are we contributing to these urges and desire for drinking? Or are we doing things that are naturally calming us down? I don't think the news is very relaxing right before bed. Yeah. I did a social media break for the summer and it was amazing. Highly recommend it. Okay. So that's your old way. You guys know your patterns, right? You know your patterns very well. So now it's time to make a new way. Based on that decision, the outcome first, decision making, how do you want to rewrite the scenario? What's the new way? So think about that. You guys have your common way, right? What you would normally do. So now I want you to think this through, write it down, put it in the chat. I'm going to give you a couple minutes to really think that through. The feelings that you have leading into the old way are probably still going to be there, right? That's not going to change. It's just what you're going to do. You're going to choose how you're going to react to those feelings with the outcome first instead of taking action from your feelings. Does that make sense? We really need to move away from taking action from our feelings. That's the beautiful part about being a human. Like dogs and other animals, they have feelings and they just go. Like they don't have that pause. They can't interrupt their behavior, right? We can because we can have this awareness of it and we can think ahead and plan. Read a book, have a poppy instead, take that bath and read like I always say I will, or think that sounds so perfect. Yes. Have my new weight hula hoop I can practice on when I get the urge. Love it. Had an urge win with the outcome first, thinking that last night. Nice, Joni. Take it moment by moment. Just say no, thanks, maybe later, maybe in an hour or after we eat. Abigail, well, you're the one that was going to, it's very social for you. Yes. So maybe in the beginning too, it's just like maybe for a few days you don't go. Like think about setting yourself up for success. Think through, right? Let's go back to that one. This is very similar to your situation, right? So like you get invited to something or you know that this is happening on the regular basis. And if you want to guarantee that you don't drink, right? Think that through. How hard is that going to be for you to not only say no, but also allow and practice those urges to be present? Is that going to be super hard for you? And just tell yourself the truth, right? So maybe for a few days you don't, and then you go practice and you're like, okay, I'm going to go for a half an hour. I'm going to practice just saying no, I got to go, right? Have a water, sparkling water, whatever, and then you go after 30 minutes and then you can ease back into it and spend more time. So it's just about telling yourself simple removal is the best option. Sometimes it is hard, other days it's easy. Of course, right? It's hard when we have the cravings and the urges. It's easy when we don't, it's not, we're not having those things, right? So using these tools when it's hard, and sometimes it's hard just to say no and to stay back. Sometimes it's easy, right? Just depends on what's going on too. A mocktail is really it's like, no, it's not just seltzer water. It's more like, you can have a mocktail. It's like a fake cocktail. So sometimes there's fake liquor in there, like, alcohol-free rum or whiskey or vodka. And then you just use the other ingredients that would create the cocktail, but it's called a mocktail. I make them with like kombucha, sparkling water. There's like teas and things that you can buy. They're like sparkling and taste like alcohol, I guess. They're supposed to be like replacements for alcohol. So you can get creative, go to Pinterest and look up mocktail recipes. There's tons. I never got into mocktails. I just drank tea. I drank decaf Paris tea. It's by Harney and Sons every day when I first started this. I had a tea ritual and I found it so soothing and so comforting because had 3 little kids, was working full time, all these things, right, going on. I was looking for something soothing and calming, and tea did that for me. And so I got into teas and things then. It was really fun to like go to a tea shop and like talk to the people and pick some things out. So that was what helped me. Mocktails were not a big thing back then. There's so much more, so many different things available now. Just go down like your soda aisle in the grocery store, and there's cans of all sorts of fun things. Yeah, that's a good one. Steph, tonic water, cranberry juice with a splash of lime. Um, that's your favorite tea, Tammy? I love Earl Grey too, but that one is the best. It is the best. What do I love, I've been liking diet tonic water and half club soda with a splash of lime, so it's not so tonic-y. That's been really refreshing. I've had that a lot. How did my sobriety change your relationship with your spouse and children? Well, my kids were very young when I started doing this. So my oldest was 8 and my oldest is 15 now, almost 16. And my youngest was, I think, 5, 4 or 5. So they were very young. So they don't really remember me drinking that much. So I would say it improved. I had way more patience. I had no patience before for anything. So like especially after a long work day, I would come home, things would set me off very easily because I just I had a lot of anxiety and overwhelm. And so my tolerance for things was very low. Plus, with the drinking, that amplifies all of that, right? So once I got that out of the way, my patience for the kids was so much more. I was able to hang with them more, get through the evening routine so much better with them. Our relationship, I'm so connected to my kids now. We're very, very close. And my husband too. My husband was a little, like curious about how that was going to look at the beginning, but around 6 months or so into that journey for myself, he actually cut really back and he barely drinks now. We don't keep alcohol in the house. He'll go weeks without drinking. It's amazing. So it definitely had a positive effect to my immediate family and my in-laws. I mean, that's like a whole nother story, but like they used to drive me crazy. We had so much of a not a tumultuous relationship, but there were some rocky times. And now we're very close. And I think it improved everything. I have more friendships now than I did before, much deeper, soulful, connected relationships with people. Um, I prefer conversations with people not drinking, not having that filter, like it feels like it disconnects when other people are drinking to me. So it's been an all around positive experience. So do you guys feel like you're very welcome. I am an open book. Do you guys feel like you have your new ritual, your new way with this outcome first way you're going to handle the most common pattern that you have written down, or at least in your head, like this is what I'm going to do and practice? Yes. Okay, good. Yeah. So if you haven't fleshed it out completely after this class, I really want you to spend some time writing that out, making that intentional for yourself, and like then putting it up and like putting it around some places where you can remember it. Okay. So the key takeaways, I know that was a lot of information. We went through a lot, but this is recorded so you can watch the replay, of course. Remember what the reset will give you, right? You're giving yourself something. You aren't taking anything from me. Alcohol is always going to be there. You can have it later, right? It's not going anywhere. We don't need to get it all in either before October 1st starts, because you're not going to have it for a long time. Please don't do that to yourself. Start practicing now, right? Start being intentional. Start thinking about how you're giving yourself something by not drinking so much, right? Focus on one day at a time. Remember to focus on the day that you are in. Focus on the day that you are in. Your discomfort is temporary. Allow yourself to feel the cravings, the urges, and the reasons why you're drinking, right? You should feel angry around things that make you angry, right? You should feel happy around the things that make you happy, right? All of your feelings are normal. Practice feeling them without doing anything. Create new rituals and use the outcomes first framework. Okay, so this is how you're going to make this next month more fun, more engaging, more nourishing for yourself. Yes, you can. We have a lot of things to deal with in one given 24-hour period, right? I don't know if you guys have kids, but I have 3 teenagers now. And I swear, like every day, something I'm like, okay, what's it going to be today? What's on the menu? What kind of surprises and delights am I going to receive today? Like it's just things that you never expect that you have to deal with, right? And so life is like that. Unexpected things coming at us all the time. We don't need to use alcohol as a tool to get through that. It's just not sustainable. It doesn't make you feel good. Yes, Coach Chef, it doesn't change either when they get older, does it? Okay, so I just want you to imagine how you would feel. 30 days, no alcohol, really figuring out why you've been drinking, getting better sleep, dealing with the shit that makes you drink, maybe changing some things in your life. This is what one of our members wrote in for, and this is actually a picture of her. You can change your life. I never thought I could stop drinking. It's a muscle I used for so long and didn't know anything else. I am excited about life. I'm 55 and have so much more to do. Stopping drinking was not the goal when I joined until I got far away from it 100 days and really knew I didn't want to go back. If that is not for you, that is totally fine. Everyone is different. For me, 20 minutes was not worth what it took from me. That's what you have to remember. When you choose to drink, what are you giving up? What is that taking from you? That it's taking something, right? Might be giving you something in the moment, but it's ultimately taking way more than it gives you. And we all deserve more than that. Shanita, I'm trying for the tonic lime and stopping for cranberry juice tonight after work to watch the football game tonight. But if Lions start losing, I will double the tonic. Nice plan. Okay, so get ready. I want you guys to prepare for Sober October, right? So think about how you can set yourself up for success. I just bought a new journal today. I'm super excited about the month. Maybe some new herbal teas for nighttime, stock up on those fun sparkling beverages, share that you're doing this with your close friends and family, rewatch and listen to the Stop Over Drinking, Start Living podcast, join the Sober October Challenge, which I'm going to tell you about in a minute inside Alive AF, focusing on making decisions with that outcomes first decision way, manage your mindset. Okay, so get coaching through me or self-coach and both. Decide ahead of time. If you are in a live AF already, If you are going to be joining for the Sober October challenge, decide how much engagement you want to do in there. Cancel things you don't want to do. Plan to move your body, drink your water, get good sleep. Keep your fridge stocked with really good healthy food that you have access to all the time. Being hungry and tired and exhausted at the end of the day is like a perfect recipe for drinking more than you want to. So it's really important to nourish your body with healthy foods, good foods that you actually enjoy eating, okay? And reduce some of the tasks and commitments that you might have. Really think about, how can I do this month differently than I have ever done before? What do I have planned? What are my social engagements? What kind of commitments have I made? Can I reduce some of that? How can I put myself and what I need at the top of the list for once? They can't be emailed, but it's the recording is going to go out, and then you'll be able to stop and pause and screenshot and take notes and stuff. So this is somebody that wrote in, you and Coach Chef got me to where I wanted and needed to be. I cannot thank the two of you enough. I am sure everyone says this, but please know I mean this 150%. I am in awe of the progress I have made with your coaching program. Never, never, never thought I would be in this place in my life. So much calmness, clarity, and gratitude, all because I changed my relationship with alcohol. And my first were doing the work in this program. Way too many to name, honestly. I have a slide that's going to pop up at the end, but I want you guys to think about what could happen, what could be an unexpected outcome that you could have by going and doing this work. You don't even know, right? Just like we don't know what's going to happen on a day-to-day basis, you don't even know what's possible for yourselves yet. Another person shared, I'm in my 6th month of the program, and for the past 6 years, my husband and I have had 1 to 2 bottles of wine a night. I started to examine my drinking on many levels. One was a retirement budget. I literally had a line item for wine. I thought I would never be able to retire as I wouldn't be able to afford wine. I was tired, overweight, and out of shape and stressed like the rest of the world. I joined the program the week of Thanksgiving, made a drink plan for that day, and have had all of the holidays since without alcohol. Christmas, New Year's, birthdays, etc. Each week, my desire to drink is overshadowed by my desire to not drink. I'm not overthinking it. The chatter is quieter and the desire lives in the background. I'm where I want to be with my relationship with alcohol, which is occasionally having it. Alcohol-free weekends are my new favorite things. To go from having a line item in your budget for alcohol to this is phenomenal, right? These are just things that we're not even aware that we're doing or how we're thinking about our drinking. And I love my new before and after picture. So I love rainbows. That's another thing about me as well. And so this was back, the one on the left was at my friend Josh's wedding like 15 years ago. And I'm hungover and he had a morning wedding. Okay. And so I had to wear sunglasses and drink a mimosa to get through his wedding. And I did not feel good here at all. And now this is me swinging in the in the treetops completely sober, having so much more fun and alive and going after it. It's just a night and day difference for me, internally and externally. So how I can help you is if you want to, you have our support, Coach Steph and I support going through for Sober October. We're both are gonna teach you how to spot the repetitive thoughts that keep you stuck in over drinking, like I deserve this, or I'll start again on Monday. Oftentimes, when you are stuck in this loop of over drinking, you can't recognize your own shit, and you believe the story that you're telling yourself around it, right? And so it sometimes takes a professional to say, can you see this? How this is impacting the outcomes that you want, right? And we'll coach you on how to shift those thoughts so that you can create different, better results that actually line up with the life that you want to have. And you'll learn how to think about your whole life in a way that feels good. So you no longer need alcohol to escape it. And you'll practice processing and feeling your emotions instead of that automatic effect of them, instead of like them driving you to do things, right? So no more numbing and avoiding things. You're just learning how to be a human. And when you learn how to think differently and feel, you create lasting change. And that's what the Sober October Challenge inside Alive AF is for. It's about showing yourself that you can thrive alcohol free, even during social events, stress, or just the daily grind of life. And if you've been trying to do this on your own for anything longer than a year, it's time to get support. So when you're addicted to alcohol, which everybody who overdrinks is, I know that word can feel scary, but if you right now don't have control over your drinking, it means you're addicted. there's a range, right? There's some people are less addicted, and then there's a full blown, like, I can't function without drinking. Most of the people are like in the around here, okay, that I work with. You need to be smart enough to recognize that you need help. If you've been trying to do this on your own and it's not working and you keep going back into your old patterns, you need to recognize that and say, I need help. There's nothing wrong with you for that. Okay. There's no shame in getting support. And it's easier to do with a group of people than on your own. And it's more fun and it's more inspiring. So you'll learn just as much from others and you won't feel as alone, like you're the only one struggling with this. If you've taken a break alone or not in a formal program before and you slip back into old ways, you probably need professional guidance. This is something else that somebody wrote in. Celebration. She just finished her 6 month in the program. I'm thrilled with her progress. Her husband saw results from cutting down the first 3 months, and then he decided to join. And we've both been alcohol free since mid-January. We've both lost about 10 pounds. We feel so much better. We just returned from a 4-day beach getaway, and it was the first alcohol free vacation we've had in probably 10 years. And it was wonderful. We cooked, we hiked, we read books, we watched movies. We went on a tour of a cheese factory, not a winery. No hangovers, no fights, no sleeping a good vacation day away, and we saved a lot of money. This program has been so instrumental in getting me out of a major funk, and I appreciate all the materials and the support of Angela and all the other coaches, mentors, and friends. It didn't happen overnight, but that's probably the best part. Looking back at my journal entries from 6 months ago is eye-opening. I'm very grateful and proud of myself too. So now I'm going to talk about the Sober October Challenge inside the Alive AF. It is open for enrollment right now. So the Sober October inside Alive AF is the Stop Over Drinking membership I have. It's been closed. We are opening it right now for you to come and do Sober October with us. So with that comes a lot of different materials and classes and details I'm going to share here in a second. So it's, taking a commitment to go 30 days alcohol free with daily live coaching by Coach Steph and I, the tools, the community support, and proving to yourself what is possible with more energy, clarity, and confidence without relying on alcohol to get through it. So we're going to have 31 days of live meetings. So starting on actually the last day of September, September 30th, we're kicking it off. And then every day for the whole month of October through October 31st, we're having 31 days of live meetings. They're going to be about 30 minutes long. You also get a Sober October workbook that I created. It's brand new just for this challenge. You have our community, so you can connect with other people that are taking the challenge and who are inside the Alive AF membership. We're going to have daily challenge posts in our community where we have our workbook, and then each day there's a prompt in the workbook. We're going to be putting that in the community, and you're going to share your responses, your answers to those prompts in the community. And that's where you can be entered to win prizes, and you can get daily support in written format there. And then you get access to all of the Alive AF resources. So there's 15 different courses you can take, or workshops, I'm sorry. There's the Alive AF course. There's all of the printed materials that I've created for all of these programs. So Sober October is a proven month-long reset for women who want to change their relationship with alcohol, where you're going to learn how to trust yourself. You're going to feel energized, be more clear-headed, and build genuine connection with yourself, mostly, without relying on drinking. Through the power of these daily live meetings and daily coaching, intention setting, and the community support that it offers. This is just what it looks like inside the membership. We have our course, we've got coaching calls and workshops that have already been uploaded, that we've done in the past. And then you join the calls through the portal in our membership. And then everything's off Facebook and social media too. So everything is in one concise place. You get a Sober October PDF calendar, you get the workbook, you can do it on your phone, you can do it on your computer. It's all very easily accessible. Coach Steph, can you put the URL to join the challenge? I do not have all the times memorized because there's 31 days of them, but it's all listed out there under the FAQs on this URL. They range from mid-morning to mid-afternoon throughout the month, and Coach Steph are rotating which ones that we're leading. So, we're trying to accommodate all the different time zones and work schedules. And everything's recorded. So we don't expect you guys to attend all the live calls. If you can attend a couple a week, that would be amazing, but everything's recorded and immediately available to watch and replay. So And then you join our meetings actually right through the portals as well. There's no separate Zoom links. It's very condensed and easy to navigate. And then they're automatically recorded and uploaded. So even if you're, can just watch it later that day, or you miss it by an hour, you can go in and watch the replay right away. Lynn, how long do you have access to the info? You have access to the information in the membership as long as you stay a member. So let me go back. So basically when you join, you're paying for the whole challenge, right? So you're going to pay for 31 days of the challenge. If you don't want to continue on in the membership, you just have to cancel. So you'll let us know via email that you don't want to continue, and then you're not charged anymore, but you will get access to the full month of October. Okay. And then you have access to everything as long as you're a member. Once you cancel your membership, then you don't have access to it anymore. And this is just something that somebody wrote in. You've truly helped me so much. It all started with a free class and then joining Alive AF. I've been several months alcohol free and now have a drink maybe once a month socially, and it feels absolutely great to feel so free and to feel alive again. Okay, so just to sort of recap it all, 31 days of live meetings. They're all recorded, various times. Okay, weekends too. Sober October workbook, created new for this challenge. So every day in that workbook, it's a month-long workbook. You can use it for your journal for the month. There's going to be a prompt that you answer. There's spaces to write in there. And then we're going to put those prompts in our challenge on inside the membership. You go in there and you answer those prompts, and that's where you'll be entered to win the daily prize. Who has done wine-free work week here before? If you've done wine-free work week, if it's very similar to that, it's just going to go on for 31 days instead of 4. Super engaging, high energy, fun, lively. It's very motivating. Okay, so you got the daily challenge post in our community where you can enter. That's where you enter to win the prizes. There'll be one prize given per week, and get support, of course, written support, unlimited questions, support provided inside that community. And then you get access to all of the Alive AF resources, the course, the workshops, all the written materials, worksheets, all of that. So to join for the Sober October Challenge, it's $97. We are waiving the $100 enrollment fee. Normally, when you join the membership, you have to pay $197. But we want to encourage as many people to join and come for the challenge. So we're waiving the $100. You just join for $97. That will cover your first month. If you don't want to continue after that, you just send us an email to cancel, and that's it. It's not complicated. And you can stay in the membership as long as you want. Most people stay in for about 6 months and they continue doing the work, but you don't have to. If you just want to try it out for the first month, you join, let us know right away. I don't want to continue. We'll cancel your subscription. Okay. We want to make this feel easy for you. If you know that you want to work with me and Coach Steph and you want to do this and have daily accountability, and this sounds like a good idea for you, we want to make this feel really easy, right? We don't need to make that a big obstacle to overcome. So if you're interested in joining, we'd love to have you. We will be closing down enrollment on October 1st. So you won't be able to join the membership or anything after that for the rest of the year. And that's what I got for you. And Coach Steph shared that URL there. So this is what I want you to think about as we wrap up today. What can you discover when you let yourself experience something you weren't expecting to experience? What do you think is waiting for you with the idea of this challenge, or the idea of going 30 days without alcohol? Don't you want to find out? I think it's so exciting. That was one thought that helped me when I first started. I said to myself, I don't know what's going to happen, but I am excited to find out. And I was truly excited about that because I had never done anything like that before. I had never gone a long chunk of time without alcohol except when I was pregnant. And so I was excited to see what could happen in my life. I had no idea that I was going to start a business. I had no idea. I would not be able to describe to you what has happened in my life after that I made that decision. My life completely went on a different trajectory because of that one decision. And so this is what I want to leave you with. What can you discover when you let yourself experience something you weren't expecting to experience? So maybe you guys just joined, I don't know, I'll check it out. And you're like, I wasn't planning to take a 30-day break. I wasn't planning on, joining Angela's coaching program, whatever it was. But what could you experience by saying yes to something like that? That's the fun of life. You guys have new things that you still get to experience. Take a hold of that. What questions can I answer for y'all? Oh, Julie, walk, do not run to join a live AF. Yes. Hi, Julie. Where do we find the sign up again? Um, Coach Chef, can you put the link in there again? And we will email out the link to do it as well. But if you want to run over there and sign up right now, it's awesome. So let me just kind of tell you what will happen. If you sign up today, you'll get an automatic email from us that says, welcome. Here's our schedule. Here's what you can expect next. And then on September 30th, we're going to send you another email with access to everything. Again, like we'll tell you how to log into the portal, how to log into the membership. Coach Chef is going live that day at 3 p.m. to kick us off. And then, the challenge starts the following days. We just want to give you an extra day to like get your workbook printed and navigate the membership and find things and get set up for success. And then the challenge officially starts October 1st. So that's sort of the order of the details. But by signing up today, you just take care of that. If you know you want to do it, you start getting yourself stocked up with things, getting in the right mindset, practicing a little bit before we start next week. Yeah, Marie, I think you made a good point about having tried this before on your own. Yeah, it's just like, you have to like think about how often are you going to keep doing the same things that aren't working, right? And be smart enough to recognize, okay, I've been saying I'm going to do this, or I've tried this before. How long has that been? And if you can recognize it's been a while, and I'm not really where I want to be, it's time to get professional support. $97 for a 30-day challenge with 31 meetings. It's about $3 a day. We're spending more than that on alcohol and the cost of what this is doing to your life. It's a no-brainer. No-brainer. Leslie, I highly recommend Angela's podcast. Nice bite-sized segments to stay mindful and explore things you didn't think about. Thank you, Leslie. Joni says, do it. You'll never pay less for 15 plus hours of personal service. It's true. Yay. I've joined and I'm looking forward to October. I'm so happy, Leslie. Oh, thank you, Donna. You're very welcome. What questions can I ask you about just what we went over today? Any sort of things that you want me to revisit or have questions about different things? Any advice I can give you? Yes. Janelle, are there replays of all live classes? I am sorry if you answered this already. I am trying to listen during the work. Do lives vary in times? They are. Yes. We always do replays. Whether it's a free class like this one or in our coaching programs, there's always a replay and they're always processed the same day. So right after we have it, we process that and you'll have immediate access to it. So all of in the Sober October challenge inside the membership, they're automatically recorded and then uploaded. So right away, as soon as that meeting ends, you'll be able to access the replay. And yes, the times vary from like 10 a.m. Eastern time to 3 p.m. Eastern time. So if you're on the West Coast, maybe you catch a meeting before work or at lunchtime. If you're on the East Coast, maybe you're catching it more like late morning, lunch, early evening type thing. And same thing on the weekends. Let's see. Jen, I responsibly drink in social situations or choose not to drink at all. It's not a problem for me to assert myself. The problem is drinking alone. I have no alcohol at home, but once or twice a week, I buy a bottle and finish it. Blackouts are bad. Yeah. So we need to figure out why you're doing that at home, Jean. And so definitely by, committing to do a 30-day break, we will help see that. And the other thing I want to talk about is if you fail. I don't want you to be scared to do this because you might fail. That is definitely not making an outcomes first decision. That's making a decision based on a fear, right? A fear of failing, which is a feeling. And of course that might happen because we're humans and we're not perfect and we're not trying to be perfect, right? We will help you through that in the challenge. There's videos and worksheets and all sorts of support and within the live meetings that you can come on and be like, I fucked up. I made this mistake. We will help you navigate that so that you can get right back on track and not stay in that shame cycle, which, will cause you to get a case of the efforts and, screw the whole challenge, right? So just know that that's built into it. We don't expect perfection at all. And we are lovingly and compassionately holding space for y'all to navigate this. We know it's hard and there'll never be any judgment. So we encourage you to come and share if you do make mistakes. That's part of the process. My necklace says magic. Dixie says, just do it. Totally worth it. And Angela and Coach Chef are so entertaining. It's so true. Hi, Dixie. Yeah, so we will help you work. A lot of people experience loneliness. All right. There's a lot of single women, empty nesters, people who have gone through divorced or gone through divorces. And it's a common thing. So we talk about that on the regular. And you can definitely get as much support as you want around that. I think I've just been summarized that I should be able to do it on your own. I think we just need to be smart enough to know that we need extra help. And I think you are. That's why you're here. What's the deadline? The deadline to join is October 1st, but don't wait till then. Think about it, right? This is a lot of information. Like, give yourself 24 hours to think about it, whatever you need to do, but then just sign up if you're feeling inclined to. We want you to start prepared. So that's why we're giving you a week or so, right? We want you to be prepared to do the challenge and set yourself up for success and have fun. Are there podcasts for members only? I've listened to them in the past, but wondering if there's a different set for members with other. Yes. So all of the meetings that we'll have are 100% for members only. All of the workshops that you have access to, this is a public class. This didn't cost anything, but we have a totally different set of content inside the membership. So every month there's a workshop that we do. We just did a whole workshop on this outcomes first methodology that I just kind of introduced to you guys. That is only for paying members. And so all of those workshops are always only for paying members. The course is only for paying members. We do put things like this class inside the membership so that they have access to it as long as they are staying a member. We do any other course like Wine Free Work Week. We'll put that, archive it in the membership so you always have access to it. But yes, there's specific content just for the paying members that you'll have access to. It's a good question. The public podcast, my Stop Over Drinking and Start Living, that just is anybody can access, but inside the membership, it's different. Yay, you signed up. Yay, you signed up. Awesome. Having a group makes all the difference. Thanks for this webinar. Will there ever be another sign up? Currently unemployed, but I have enjoyed this. Sometimes it's so lonely. Yes, a few times a year I'll do free classes like this. My podcast is free. If you are having financial stuff, check that out. You don't get the interaction like this, but there's a lot of good information there. There's almost next week, or maybe it's this week, it's 350 episodes. So you can binge listen to that. It's really good. What other questions can I answer for you guys? I don't get paid to the end of the month, but I'm going to sign up. Yay! Yeah, sign up. It'll be great to have you. So if you guys have any other questions, feel free to email us, hello@angelamascenik.com, and we'll get back to you. We'd love to have you. We'd love a lot of people to join to make it even more vibrant and fun, just like how interactive this class was. That energy that you guys bring adds a whole different level to the experience, right? So please join us, and it's going to be fun. I promise. It will be challenging for sure because it's a challenge. It's meant to be a challenge, but you'll feel good about yourself at the end of the month, and you'll really understand your patterns and your behaviors a lot more clearly. And you can decide to take it from there on your own or keep going in the membership and keep diving into the work. It's totally up to you. Does anybody have any final questions, thoughts? Yes, Coach Steph says you'll never know what you are capable of until you try. I love it. It's true. You're very welcome. I followed you for a while and you have helped me change my habits and triggers. Thanks. You're so welcome. All right, friends, we can wrap it up. Again, we'll be around on the emails if you want to shoot us a note, a question, anything. You'll get this on replay soon with the link to join the membership and all that stuff. Sound good? Have a beautiful rest of your day. We'll talk to y'all soon. Bye. Thank you so much for being here. I loved teaching that class so much. The energy of everybody and their goals and their desires to make changes and their excitement around this. So make sure you don't miss out and join. Keep the party going with the Sober October Challenge inside Alive AF. We will put the link in here in the show notes to join. That enrollment is open until October 1st, and then we're closing it down for the rest of the year. So don't miss, and we'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.